Hello and welcome to the Embroidered Elephant channel. My name is Kim and welcome to another video with me throughout December. So today I am going to go through all of the goals that I made for myself at the beginning of the year and just seeing which ones I've achieved and which ones I haven't achieved. I think it's about equal. I've achieved more than I set out for myself in some areas and haven't achieved other goals. So let's start. Just for ease, I have set these again into 3 different categories. The first being sewing, the second being crochet, and the last one being business goals. So here are my handy notes. So the first goal I set out for myself was to only have fabric that fit onto my shelves. So I have achieved this by slightly cheating. I have got some new shelves that are longer, so it's easier to put my fabric on the shelves. So I have achieved this, just about. The next goal that I set myself at the beginning of December was to only have scraps that fit into one basket and to get rid of some by using them for projects in December to sell at the market. So again, with the new shelf that I've got 2 drawers. All of the scraps that I have, I've separated into 2 piles. So one that is separated and themed, i.e. if they're just from a certain fabric line or they're all of a certain colour, they're all in bags separated. And the other drawer of scraps is just random scraps. So a little bit of everything. So I have kind of achieved that. All of the scraps are in one place, but it's not down to one basket, unfortunately. The next plan that I had set out was to complete 7 handmade clothing items. Sorry, hand sewn items. I didn't achieve this. However, I did make my own wedding dress, which my mother-in-law kindly told me should count as more than one project. So I've counted it as 3. The first is the skirt, the second is the top, and the third is just all the extra work that went into making it perfect and remaking it in certain aspects. If you're interested in that, there is a video series up. I am going to do the final episode soon and hopefully have that up this week. The next was to get through all of my clothing alterations, just little things that needed buttons or a zip repairing or just something wasn't great. So technically I achieved this. I did get all of my sewing alterations finished for myself and my husband and for anyone else who'd asked me to do something. However, I've recently gone through all of our clothes again and have found the things that need to be done, and I filled a drawer up again. So I need to start getting through those, but I just need to have a little bit of time. So again, I feel like I'm pushing everything back to January, but after I've done this series, which obviously takes quite a bit of my time during the day and during evenings and weekends sometimes, I will be looking to get the alterations done in the new year and sort of keep on top of that. And the last goal that I set myself was to finish all of the fabric that I got from America or use it all. This didn't happen. I went to America a couple of years ago and I bought a load of fabric, and my sister-in-law, when she visits, her and my brother have bought me fabric as well. Some of it I'm very reluctant to use because it's gorgeous and I don't want to mess it up, and in some cases it is sort of limited edition, so if anything does go wrong I can't just go to the shops and get some more. So I've used a lot of the fabric, but I haven't used all of it. So no, I didn't achieve this. The next goals are my crochet goals. So the first goal was to keep my yarn tracker on Notion up to date. I have done this and I use this regularly to help with podcasts and when I do episodes about my destashing or my stash down diaries, I am definitely using this. So yes, I've achieved this. The next is to finish all of my current whips from the start of 2024 to finish all of the current whips. So the projects I had in motion at that time, so I had my red jumper, which I frogged. I had a beige cardigan, which I have finished and I wear quite a bit. I had my yellow jumper, which I frogged because it was too difficult and my little brain was fried. Next was black and white socks, which I have finished quite recently actually. My Portugal shirt, which I have finished. The bear basket, which had started off as a beach bag that I had improvised, scrapped that and made a bear basket instead. And the last one was a crochet Christmas paper chain, which I had finished and is sat above me at the moment. It's hanging up above me. If you want any more details about these, I have uploaded a video about all of the projects I finished in 2024, so that might be of interest to you. So you can see what they look like and just go through them a little bit in more detail. But all of those projects were finished or frogged, and I definitely finished over 7 projects this year for crochet. So yes, I've achieved that. The next plan was to get under 100 entries on Notion. I haven't done this. Again, I will go into more detail about the specific entries and how much yarn I have used this year in January when I sum up the year and my year of stashes 2024 or stashing down. So yes, getting to under 100 entries on Notion didn't happen. I prioritised using yarn and finishing my works in progress, and just the way that I track my yarn so that it's not duplicated. All the yarn that is currently in a project is out of my stash and in either my planned projects or my works in progress. Once it's finished, if there's any yarn that's left over, it then goes back into my stash because it's not being used for anything. So this, as well as various different projects, you know, some months I have bought myself some yarn. The stash has gone up. I've used a lot, but it has also gone up. So there's definitely not under 100 entries at the moment, unfortunately. So at the start of December, I did look at the goals I hadn't achieved and tried to make them more achievable. So I had said that I wanted my entries on Notion to be under 130. Now, have I achieved this? I don't think so. Got really excited then because it said 96, but I forgot I had a filter on it. So I've got currently 151 entries on Notion. So not quite 130 like I wanted. But I have finished a few works in progress, so that's good. The next one that I made was to keep my log up to date. I have, as I said, I have updated Notion, so that's good. The next plan that I had to set specifically for my yarn stash was to have under 11,500 grams in stash. That also didn't happen, and neither did the plan to have under 200 skeins in my stash. I wanted to minimise the amount of planned projects I had and start getting them done. I have currently got 18 projects in my planned project queue. That's just because I have mainly been working on Christmas presents for people, so they've taken the priority over the planned projects that I have. I wanted to finish 40 projects by the end of the year, which I have definitely done. So I've just calculated in total this year, including all the different stems that I did for the wedding, I completed 98 different projects. So I have 39 separate projects, but 98 total different finished objects, if that makes sense. So for example, I've recently crocheted some robins. I crocheted 4 of them, but they are one project. They all look very similar because it's the same pattern, same yarn, etc. But there's 4 of them, so I've counted them as 4. So 98 finished projects. So I definitely got over the 40 that I wanted to do. I did set out to finish half of my magazines and my pattern books. I didn't do this. I have gone through all of my books recently and have gotten rid of ones that I no longer want. I've put them on Vinted. I've sold quite a few as well, but I haven't halved them just because I still need to sit down, just have a day where I can sit down and go through the patterns, find the magazines that have good patterns in that I really want to make, and get rid of the ones that I don't want to make. Maybe do a bundle deal on Vinted or take them to the Southern Wool Fest for donation, because I know that they usually do that. And last category is to go through my business goals. The first one was to make all of the tote bags that I'd set fabric aside for. I did that. Next was to track the projects that I had made for the business. I had a tracker in the back of my bullet journal. I was planning on writing everything down and drawing everything that I made so that I could track how many projects I'd finished. I didn't do that. It was really difficult to catch up. I've tried to put down everything that I can think of, but I know I've probably missed quite a few things. The next was to do more collaborations. I didn't do that this year. At the beginning of December again, I altered my plans to make it more achievable and set out to send 3 separate emails to 3 separate people to do collaborations. I didn't do that. Again, I think I underestimated how busy December would be. I've started working again 2 days a week in the office, so obviously that's days that I can't do personal or sort of business things. And I have been busy filming and editing the rest of the days. And again, sometimes that does include weekends, not to say that not to be all woe is me, because I enjoy doing it, but it has just been very, very busy, very full on. Most of my energy has been taken up by filming videos, which I enjoy doing. The next was to make over 100 bags. I definitely did this. I did calculate in my journal. I won't count them all now, but I have finished over 100 bags and 100 different projects as well. I went through a spree of making loads and loads of yarn cozies. I will insert a picture. I've been waiting for this moment to come up where I can put a picture in. I'll post a picture. And yeah, I've definitely made over 100 bags this year. The next was to release Valentine's bags. I did this. And the same to release Christmas specific bags, which I also did. The next was to do 3 markets this year. I have done 3 markets. They've been quite local, and I have done a video on each of the markets that I've done if you're interested in watching those. And lastly was to apply for 2025 markets. I have done this for a few markets. During the new year, I need to get a bit better at searching for markets, because I think sometimes they are only advertised locally. So I need to be better at finding where they are being advertised and putting myself out more, maybe a little bit better. I have achieved a lot of my goals. As I said, I will go into some of these in a bit more detail in different videos. For example, with my destashing series, I will be doing a video in January once I finish this year and I have all the final numbers, so that I can show you exactly how many new entries I've got on Notion, how much yarn I have used in kilograms and in entries, how many projects I finished, what used the most amount of yarn, etc, etc. So all of the numbers, if that is of interest to you, will be in a separate video in January. Hopefully you have found it quite interesting to go through the goals that I set myself at the beginning of the year and see which ones I have managed to finish and which ones are still outstanding. I will be doing another video probably next week on the 30th for all of the goals that I'm going to set myself for 2025. I thought I'd make them into separate videos just so that they're easier to watch and hopefully a little bit shorter as well. So thank you very much for watching this video. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. I will see you very soon. I will see you maybe tomorrow if there's another video out. But until next time, take care. Bye! PS, if there's any goals that you have achieved this year, crafty or hobby related, let me know below. I would love to hear about them. Okay, bye!